Hello and welcome to my reading vlog. Sorry, I was debating on saying week 3, but because I'm filming the vlogs like kind of weird, it's not really week 3, it's more like week 4, but like whatever. Um so I'm doing, for anyone who's not been watching, I'm doing Believe-a-thon and Indigathon, and I was supposed to start the vlog yesterday, but I guess I just didn't get around to filming yesterday. So yesterday I finished 2 books that I was in the middle of before. I finished Saga, Volume 1. This is a series, graphic novel series that everyone talks about being like really awesome, and I just thought it was okay. I don't know. It was like a lot of action, but there was a lot of characters, and I felt like you didn't really get to know any of them hardly at all. I think the guy here is the one that you get to know the most, but yeah, so it was like a lot of plot, and the plot was like interesting and I guess like kept your attention, and I like the art style, but like it's sci-fi and I'm not super duper into sci-fi. Like there was like a character that was like a spider. Oh god, she's creepy. Okay, there, you can see her there. She's like a spider, see that? I don't like that. Like that's fucking creepy. Sorry. But I don't. So, I don't know if I'm going to keep going with it because I don't know. Like, I feel like sci-fi would be like more my thing when it's just a normal book, not like illustrated, because then I can picture things how I want to picture them, like in my imagination, and nothing would be like creepy like that. Even if it was like a half spider, half woman, I think in my head it'd look nicer. Just, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I just gave it 3 stars. I don't know. I also finished Gods of Jade and Shadow, which was awesome. I'm giving it like, gosh, it's definitely a new favorite, and I want to give it 5 stars. So maybe I'm just gonna give it 5 stars. But like, there was a lot of there was actually quite a few things about it that I didn't like. Okay, I felt like we got too much of the antagonist's point of view, like the bad guy, and quite a few times I felt like his point of view was like dragging on, and I was like, "Okay, like I don't care. Like, can we get back to like the main Cassiopeia and her death god that she was traveling with?" Because I obviously really liked their point of view, and I liked like the romance that happened. Okay, yeah, so the antagonist point of view was too much. Also, this is a huge spoiler, but I also feel like it's important trigger warning. Like, I didn't see it coming, but definitely trigger warning for suicide, and also like romanticized suicide. So I don't really want to give away the ending, but like that happened. And it was like basically like she sacrificed herself at the very end. Yeah. And it turned out okay. Like, but yeah, I mean, gosh. I just wish that it didn't have to happen that way. But yeah. Also, the ending, I liked it, but I also hated it. But I had a lot of feelings about this book, and I really loved like all of the mythology. Like I do love like all types of mythology. I'm not any sort of like expert on any of it, but I love reading about it. And this is the first time that I've ever read anything about like Mayan mythology and Mayan gods and things like that, and it was really awesome. I thought it was really well done. Yeah. And so I'm gonna check if this author, because she has like this is not like her first book, and so I want to check and see if she has other stuff like with similar themes. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I finished those two. Then at work, I was like humming and hawing over like what audiobook to start. I decided to use my Audible credit, my November Audible credit, to get the Believe-a-thon group book Frostheart on audiobook. So that's what I did. And I think I'm like 3 hours in, 2.5, 3 hours in, something like that. And yeah, so far I really like it. Rachel's Patreon group is reading Frostheart for November as well. And a lot of the people who have already read it have some problems with like some of the like writing style or like formatting. They say like it's visually not like there's like randomly like italics, that like normal words are spelt differently for some unexplained reason, and like things like that bothered them because it's like a middle grade, so it's intended for children, but like those things can be confusing because to children and like mix them up and stuff like that. So yeah, and they also talked about like the illustrations, but since I'm reading it on audiobook, like I don't have all of those. Not like none of that is going to affect my reading experience. So, but yeah, so far, like I really like this story. Yeah. And, yeah. So other than that, like for physical books, I have started, A Boy Called Christmas, but I haven't read anything else, tonight because I literally spent 5 hours on video chat with my bestie Zoe from Reader Bee. Yeah, we have never video chatted for that long before, but we did, so I didn't get any reading done yet tonight. But I still have like probably an hour before I'm like too tired and like need to go to bed. So I think that's what I'm gonna read right now. A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. For my reading goals this week, I definitely want to finish Frostheart. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to start after it, but hopefully I can finish Frostheart tomorrow. That would be nice. And then I've picked out 3 graphic novels. 2 are manga, actually. This one's called Your Name. And this one's called A Silent Voice, and then we have Death Note volume. This is manga too. They're all manga. Death Note, Black Edition, book 1. Okay, so with those ones, and then for more middle grade, after I finish A Boy Called Christmas, I think this one called The Land of Yesterday by K.A. Reynolds comes highly super duper recommended by Rachel Marie, and this is one that's gonna make me cry, I guess. So there's that. And then after that heaviness, I am going to do this one, The First Rule of Punk by Celia C. Perez. So I don't know if I'm going to get through those ones because all of these, because I've already gone through like my skinny short middle grades, and these ones are a lot thicker. One of them, I looked already, one of them has 300 pages and the other one has like 250. So, I mean, it's still less than a like a regular adult book because of like the font size is a lot larger, but still it's like a full book. It's like a full book. These are not like short. short and sweet middle grades anymore. So hopefully I can get through some, but maybe I shouldn't do 5-hour long video chats when I'm trying to complete my Goodreads goal. Damn it. Tomorrow I'm supposed to have my cousin over and bake cookies and stuff. So if that happens, I probably won't get like a lot of reading done either. But I'm not sure. We planned it last week, so I need to talk to her about it and see if it's still happening. Yeah, if not, maybe I'll just read. Okay, I think that's it for the update today. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yep, but yeah, so even though I hardly read anything today, I already finished 2 books for this week, and hopefully I can do at least 1 more middle grade. I think I want to prioritize the mangas, I feel like. Maybe 2 middle grades and the mangas and another audiobook. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully I can get through this one for sure, but I don't think I'll be able to do both of those 2 that I said. But yeah, okay, those are my goals for this week. And yeah, talk to you later. Hi. So today is Thursday. I finished 2 books today. Yay. At work, I finished Frostheart, which I was reading on audiobook. And it was really good. I give it 4 stars. It wasn't like a new favorite or anything. The only thing I will say about it is that I felt like the plot was really, I don't know, if you guys remember when I was talking about the Rick Riordan book that I read at the beginning of this month, there's one plot that kind of finishes itself at the end of that book, and then there's another plot that overarcs a 5-book series. Well, I don't even know if Frostheart is meant to be a series or not, but there was one of the main things that was a problem or whatever. It didn't it wasn't it didn't solve it, so it didn't get solved at the end, but it was still a pretty clear ending. But it could easily have multiple more books. So I feel I want to reread the synopsis on Goodreads, because I feel it's super misleading, because you think it's gonna end a certain way and then it never quite gets there. But I still really liked it. Yeah. Again, this is a really good one where I felt the kid really acted like a kid. most of the book, we have the training trope where he's he can sing, and his singing has power. And so he's training off and on, learning to focus and to listen for the songs of the earth. I don't fucking know. And yeah, as a kid would, he gets super annoyed with how much effort it actually takes to get better at something. And of course, he blames the person who's training him and stuff. And I'm yeah, you're a classic child. Just expecting to be insta good at something. Doesn't always happen that way, son. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to really tell you about it. I don't know if I told you kind of, okay, basically there's this boy Ash, and he has like power like with singing, but that's like very taboo. Like I don't know what happened, what the people who have singing powers did in the past, that everyone hates them, but everyone hates them. And as soon as, and so his parents, like when he was a little, left him with this, they're called like fire people, or like a fire tribe, like I'm not sure. And so they just left him there. And so these people who aren't related to him or anything have been like raising him. But once something happens and he like sings and tries to like use his power, and everyone freaks out, and they want him gone. So yeah, there was the Frostheart is like a boat thing, but it travels over the ice, not on water. So not really sure how that works. Anyways, but so the boat, like, yeah, is full of like travelers and whatever, and it came to their town. And so instead of just being exiled like on foot, he asked if he could join their crew. And yeah, so he goes with them, and so he's looking for his parents, but he's also like looking for more information on like his people in general, and like his powers, and like trying to figure out how he can like control them or get better or use them properly. Yeah. And that's what it's about. And then I finished A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. And it was really cute, Christmassy read. I did think like it was longer than it needed to be. I felt like it was just too like the whole thing was too lengthy. Like like for some books, I can't even really like pick out a part that was like too drawn out, because I thought the whole thing was like the beginning was like, yeah, I don't know. But I think I told you about it already, like what it's about. Well, it's like the backstory for Santa Claus. Okay, so, but it starts out like really bad. Well, like most of the story up to a certain point is like really negative. So like he grows up like really, really poor. His mom passes away, like there's an accident, and so then it's just him and his dad. And they're very poor. Like he is lucky to get anything for Christmas, if he even does, and he most of the time doesn't. And then his dad has an opportunity to go with a group of people on like an expedition to try to prove that the magical land of Elfheim is real. But usually people that try to do that don't ever come back. It's a long and treacherous journey. Yeah, so his dad goes, and he's gone for like way longer than he thought he would be. Then he told him that he would be gone for. And so Nicholas, of course, that's his name, the kid goes to look for his dad and finds Elfheim, of course. But it's like a much longer story than that. And even to get him to the point where he is actually like Santa Claus and like delivering presents at the end, like it's so very like drawn out. But the story does like, if you're a kid and reading it, like it does explain like most of like all the different things about Santa Claus. but it conflicts with different, like, really popular movies, but that's okay. Yeah, so I don't know. It was really super cute. And yeah, so I give it 4 stars. Oh, excuse me. So I think next, for audiobook at work tomorrow, I'm going to be reading Trail of Lightning. I felt okay with starting it. I just turned it on, but I think I only got a couple minutes into it yesterday. And then one of the graphic novels I picked for this week is Death Note. I'm vaguely aware of what it's about. And I was looking at my library, just making sure that, I know, like, when things are due back and stuff. And some of my books were due back on Sunday, but I just renewed a bunch of them, but it wouldn't let me renew this. So I need to make this a priority because I'm going to have to go to the library this weekend and take it back. Someone else is waiting to read it. Okay, so I think that's all. I don't have any plans for tomorrow, but I have to go pick up my daughters at 7 and I get them back. And yeah, I will do another update tomorrow. Bye. Hello. It's been a while. It's Sunday night, and I literally don't even remember when I last vlogged. I also been wearing these all day because we went to the Santa Claus parade today, and so I wore these for that. They're super cute. And then, excuse me, afterwards, I took my daughters to the library, and like the classic book lover that I am, we literally spent 4 hours at the library. We stayed until they were kicking us out because it was closing. So, yes. But I believe since I have updated, I have completed two books. So I would like to tell you about them. But with one of them, I have gone rogue. I've gone off the TBR. I saw a few days ago, I saw Chandler Ainsley's book club called Smonthly was going to be reading I don't know, like, literally don't even, like, The Christmas Shop, I believe. Is that what it was? Yeah, The Christmas Shop. Okay, well, Smonthly is supposed to be like a smutty romance book club. Okay, so I had expectations, but I was definitely, like, super in the mood for a Christmassy smut romance book. Unfortunately, we did not get that. Oh, well, so I got on my Kindle, so there you go. It won't let me show you the cover, so, but whatever. Okay, so this book is about it's like takes place in a little small town on a small coastal town in North Carolina. Well, I'm Canadian over here, and I don't know where things are in the US. So the place was called Pleasant Sands, okay? Sorry, I need to readjust how I'm sitting because I'm not comfortable. Okay. So there's this woman. She owns a little shop which is like she sells Christmas stuff, high-end Christmas stuff, Christmas decorations, all year round out of an old lighthouse. And basically, like, the lighthouse was like her great grandfather was like the lighthouse keeper or something. And yeah, so okay, so she has this little store, and then it wasn't doing well anyways, but then a cheap, like, Walmart style store opens up in the town called Christmas Galore. And yeah, she basically just can't compete. She's selling like $40 like hand knit, really like intricately designed, high quality like stockings for $40 a stocking. And like, obviously, like at Walmart you could probably get like 2 for $5. You know, whatever. So yeah, she's pretty choked because she's gonna have to close her store. Her store is going out of business. And so this Christmas Galore, the male of the hetero equation, is the owner of said Christmas Galore store. Okay, so this is set up as a hate to love, and it very much does that. But I would like to tell you, reader, that this was not a smut. I read this entire book, and they did not even kiss each other on page in this entire book. There was not, like, it wasn't even like a fade to black. Like, it was nothing. It was nothing. He hugged her. He hugged her. Like, at the end, when they're professing their love, he fucking hugged her. That was it. We had one moment where, like, he put his hand on her leg, and then and then she put her hand on top of his hand. That was it. That's what we got. And also, at about the 80% mark, I'm not kidding, like, these characters have only talked to each other like 3 or 4 times at the 80% mark. So, like, it's mostly not a romance. It's mostly just, like, following these people in their lives. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, it was a book. It was fine. It was 3 stars. But it was not a smut. And it was barely even a romance. So, okay. Moving on. I finished this one. Death Note Black Edition. Okay, so there's a notebook called the Death Note. And a Japanese death god was bored one day, and he dropped it down into the human world intentionally. And our main character, who is called Light, okay, picks it up and reads the instructions, which are written in English, and he starts to use it. And so this notebook, if you write down a person's name in this notebook while you picture their face in your head, that person will die of a heart attack in under a minute. So this kid, Light, he is seemingly a teenager in high school in his final year, I think, because he's talking about college, applying to college, possibly. He is at the top of his class. He is very, like, your typical, like, high school, like, they think they know everything, right? And so he starts off and he kills a bunch of criminals, like, well-known criminals. Some of them in prison, some of them are not. They just basically drop dead all over the world. And very quickly, it turns into less of a let's make the world a better place and more of a, okay, I need to protect myself and I need to like not get caught, because the authorities are not okay with people killing people. It doesn't matter if you're only killing people that are criminals, whether they're convicted or not, or whatever. So police around the world basically are trying to, they're looking for, what's going on. They've figured out that all these heart attacks, like, they can't be a coincidence, whatever. And like, he's killing, like, police officers and FBI agents, and it's a lot less about making the world a better place and a lot more about just not getting caught. So, but it is like, the plot is going and it's really interesting, but I personally, like, I find myself getting upset sometimes when he's killing people, because I just keep thinking, like, maybe he'll find a way to avoid killing that person after talking to them for, like, because he sat down and talked to them, for whatever, and getting to know them and stuff like that. But so far, like, that doesn't happen. Like, he's always just concerned with, like, self-preservation and stuff. And so, and also the death god that dropped the notebook, what I talked about at the beginning, is hanging out with him. I can't remember, like, why, but he just does, because that's his notebook, his death note. But only if you touched the notebook, you can see the god, the demon, whatever. So basically only light can see and hear him. But it's just kind of funny because, like, in all the illustrations, even if he's just, like, walking down the street like this, let's see if I can find one, this creepy, like, demon thing is just, like, hovering behind him. You're like, oh god, it's so creepy. Yeah, like, here. Okay, so here he's just chilling in his room. Where is it? There. He's just chilling. He's just, like, doing whatever he's doing. And there's that death god just watching over his shoulder, Yeah. I give it 4 stars. Like, I liked it. I think I'll keep reading with it. I think I'll get the next one. I did, like, enjoy the story, but, like, at the same time, kind of want him to get caught. Like, you can't just go from killing criminals to killing FBI agents. Like, just be smarter so they don't catch you. Like, it's how, and it, yeah. Another thing was, like, how quickly the police moved from, like, this isn't possible to, like, because, yeah, I don't know how he can get caught. Like, how people could believe that this notebook, like, is a thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch, but okay, yeah. So I think that puts this week to 6 books finished so far. I've honestly been, like, self-sabotaging this week when it comes to reading. I could have definitely read a lot more, but I honestly just haven't felt like it. Or maybe, like, low-key, the books that I have left, I don't think any of them I'm really excited about. And so that could be the problem. I'm more excited. I mean, I'm excited about some of my like indigenous reads that I've put on hold. Or like I do want to get reading Trail of Lightning, but I was actually really sick. My child is talking in their sleep. It's so creepy when they do that. I wasn't feeling good on Friday, so I only did like a half day at work, and I didn't listen to any more. I didn't listen to any of Trail of Lightning, so I haven't really actually even started it yet. So tomorrow at work, I'll be working on that, listening to that, but then I don't know what I want to read next. Tomorrow, Monday, is always a busy day for us because after work, I have to pick up my kids and take them to my parents' house to eat. And then I am a leader for my daughter's Sparks group, which Sparks is like the 5-6-year-old level of Girl Guides. So, and that's from like 6:30 to 7:30. Then I'm going to pick up my other child back from my parents' house and then rushing back home to try to get them in bed. And usually I'm like super exhausted. But I did have 2 other like mangas that I wanted to finish this week. And there's like a bunch of middle grades, and I just picked up like a bunch more middle grades from the library. Because remember I told you the Breadwinner was a non-ending. I just put on hold like all of the sequels. And so I picked them up today. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I don't anticipate finishing another book this week. So if I don't read anything tomorrow, this might be the end of the vlog. Hi. It's Monday night, and I did read more. Last night after I updated, I read A Silent Voice graphic novel. I'll put the picture here because it's in the living room and I can't be bothered. This is the first one, like I actually hated it. The synopsis, oh gosh, I hope I wasn't covering the speaker or the microphone. The synopsis, what I read on Goodreads, said that like this guy bullies this girl and then they meet later in life and like I don't know, but the entire, like I don't know if it was 2 volumes in one or if it was just like the first volume. It was pretty skinny and I read it in like an hour. The whole thing was bullying. So like the girl is deaf, and that like means something to me because I have like my grandparents on my dad's side are both deaf mute, and so I know a lot of people in the deaf community. One of my cousins is deaf mute, and a lot of my cousins like speak sign language and stuff like that. And so the bullying towards the deaf character was severe and absolutely fucking disgusting. Like, I was so horrified by it. And then, so that was like most of what I read. And then when the mom finally comes to the school or goes to the school, freaks out because 8 of her hearing aids have either become damaged or gone missing. Fuck. Do you know how much hearing aids cost? Like, that's like insane how much money, because the kids are they were literally just taking the hearing aids out of her ears and like throwing them on the ground and stuff. Like, it was horrible. And so then basically all the kids blamed the guy, and I mean, really, it was him that was doing most of it, but he definitely wasn't like doing it by himself. So, but we go from bullying the girl to bullying the guy, and it was still gross and disgusting. Like, I hate bullying so much. So, yeah, I really, really hated it. And then I think it does jump into the future a little bit, like at the very, very end, but like you don't see anything other than the bullying. You see them, I think at the very end, they meet again for the first time after, like, she literally had to switch schools. It was, like, insane. Anyways. But I also, I didn't really like, I didn't mind the art, but just, like, how the comic was done, it was so very choppy. It was, like, you never really knew what was happening because there was so many, like, it would just jump really quickly from, like, one scene to the next, and you'd be in one place doing something, and then all of a sudden you were, like, you know, like, hours later over here doing this, or the next day here doing this. Like, it would just be, like, a whole bunch of different scenes of, like, the girl being bullied, like, in a row, but, like, obviously happened, like, they obviously didn't all happen in the same day. Like, it was really hard to follow sometimes. Yeah. So I 1-starred that. And then tonight I just spent, and it only took me about 40 minutes to read this one. It's called Your Name by Makoto Shinkai. So I'm not sure about this one either. I do actually like the story, but what I'm confused about and what I'm not really understanding is, like, okay, so there's a girl, and even, like, right at the beginning, she's like, man, life would be so much better if I had a guy and instead of a girl, and if I lived, like, in Tokyo. And I think she normally lives in, like, a rural area. And so what I can't figure out is, like, is she trans, or, like, is she just curious how the other side lives? I'm not sure. This is definitely, like, LGBT in some way, though. But so basically what happens is she wishes out loud, like, multiple times that she wishes that she could be a guy who lives in Tokyo. She wishes that she could have, like, basically the opposite life that she's living. And then what starts happening is when she wakes up and she's in a guy's body. And, like, she has her own mind. Like, she has her own mind with her own memories from her own life. But she's in this guy's body. And so at the beginning it's very confusing because she doesn't know his name. She doesn't know where she's supposed to go to school, or who his friends are, or, like, his job, or, like, anything like that. And while she's in his body, he's in her body. Really fucking confused again, and trying to figure out, like, what's going on. Sorry. And all that jazz. And so basically they do that for a while. And while so it's, even if she isn't trans, which she might be, or I guess they might be, he might be, while, let's see, what's the name so that I can just, Misha, is that? Mitsuha. Okay, when Mitsuha is in his body, they pursue a relationship with like a female. So it's some sort of queerness, which doesn't bother me. I liked it. He was like, so like when he would go back into his body after she had been there, like they both would be mad at each other all the time, and it was actually really funny. She would leave him like, they would leave him a notebook of like, because every time he woke up in her body, he was like touching her boobs. Oh my god, classic teenager. But yeah, I don't know, it's super cute. I literally just finished it like 10 minutes ago. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking 4-star. I don't know. It wasn't like crazy, but I want to keep reading it. So that's something. And also at work today, I listened a little bit to Trail of Lightning, but I only listened to like, I think I'm only like an hour and a half in. But it definitely caught my attention, and I am liking it. So the girl, the main character, blanking on her name right now. She's a monster hunter, and her ex-boyfriend is not human. He is like a god, and he kills monsters. Monster hunter as well. And so at the beginning, basically, there's this family who have sent people out to find monster hunters because their daughter's been taken by a monster. They want her back. So she goes and she hunts the monster, but then she didn't get to the girl in time. And so it's very like graphic and gory, like stabbing and blood everywhere and heads getting beheaded and stuff like that. So yeah, and the world is very, I feel like it's like a futuristic, like dystopian type of, there's been references to like the flooding, like a big flooding that happened. And this is an Indigathon read. The author is Rebecca Roanhorse. I've been having trouble finding something to complete the like on res prompt, but it sounds like they're living on reservation land. So I can check that one off. Okay, I've been talking for too long. And this vlog needs to be wrapped up. So I think with these two graphic novels that I just read today and yesterday, Death Note, that Christmas ebook that I read, Frostheart, what else did I read? Boy Called Christmas, and Gods of Jade and Shadow. 7. So that's 7 books that I finished this week, which That puts me at 20 books this month so far. And I still have Tuesday through to Saturday. Nice. So I think in my original TBR, there was like over 30 books on the video that I posted. And I've hit 20. So there are 2 more graphic novels, and so I should be able to finish those, but there's a crap load of middle grade that I am not going to be able to get through. That I might just keep and bring into my December TBR, because I still need to read a fair amount in December in order to hit 140 books read by the end of the year. Maybe I can even do 150. That would be... I'd be impressed with myself. 150 books is like 3 books a week for the whole year. That's a lot. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe to see more from me, and that's all I have for you for this vlog. I am going to keep vlogging for the rest of the year. I decided that tonight. So you can continue to enjoy these freaking hour-long vlogs of me just laying in my bed talking to the camera. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.